Hey guys, welcome to the King's Academy. My name is Wanda Foster, and I'm going to be your child's second grade teacher. Is there something wrong with my voice? Maybe now?
Well, now that I got that out of my system and got my voice back, I just wanted to say again, hi, my name is Wanda Foster, and I'll be your child's second grade teacher. We're going to have fun in second grade, and I've been here since 2007. Now off to the curriculum. Well, I want to welcome you to second grade, presented to you by Wanda Foster here at the King's Academy. We'll talk first about communication. So what is the best way to reach Miss Foster? Well, if you're coming to school on that day, you can send me a note in the doc folder. But if you're at home working, you can send me an email. And so what's the best time to reach me on your home days? That question always comes up. My satellite hours, or home hours, I should say, that I'll be checking my emails are going to be from 8 to 12. So this means I'll check my emails and respond to you during those times. If you email me after 12 o'clock, I'll get back to you on the next TKA day or home day, depending on when the email was sent. Just so you know, I don't check my emails over the weekend. What if my child gets sick and misses school? Well, that's going to happen. So I will say this, if you're missing school, always check RenWeb for if absent assignments. If there are papers that need to go home, I will send home their doc folder through their courier. So if you haven't set up your courier form on RenWeb, between now and school start would be a good time to get those set up so that you have a courier to bring homework for you. And can I schedule a meeting? I get this question often. If you want to discuss things about your children or child in my class, absolutely. I will meet with you on scheduled TKA days. All right, I want to talk about assignment sheets. Assignments are posted for the week starting on Monday, and work will be due on, that's right, Mondays and Wednesdays. So you'll have work to turn in on each Monday and Wednesday through your child's doc folder. When is the best time to print assignment sheets? Print after your child has gone to school that day. So you'll be printing 2 times a week. You'll print Tuesday, and then you can print Thursday and Friday assignments separately. Do I need to send in my printed assignment sheets? You do not. Nope. But the reason why I ask you to hold off on printing is because sometimes we may have some hiccups during the day and I have to make changes. And when I make those changes, if you have printed for the week, it will affect what you think or what work will be needed to be completed. I want to give you a curriculum overview. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. But detailed information about each subject is on RenWeb. If you go to our class page, under the resources, second grade orientation packet has every single curriculum content with an overview. So if you need some bedtime sleeping reading, this would be a great time to print that and be able to read that at bedtime. However, I do want you to know that TKA is standards driven, so all of the planned work is based on state standards. Sometimes you may see a few skips in our book, the one that we're working out of, but don't worry, that is because we are skipping those because it's not a standard that we are needing to meet. All right, math. We are using the same math that we had last year in first grade. Just wanted to point out where it says Connect Ed, that is the same as everyday math. I was going to click on that website, but most of you are aware of it, that it has games and the tools and tutorials. I will keep a calendar on the everyday math site so that if you need to go in and see if there's a tutorial for a lesson that has been taught, you are always welcome to check that out on your student's account. It's a spiral method. It introduces and it gives practices, and it always comes back in the math journal boxes. Student math journal box pages are independent work time, and the reason why they're called math journal boxes is because on their page they will actually be in a grid, and each question is in a box, and those will be independent time. Second grade, new to me, is the scoop pad. Those are going to be daily computation practices. So you guys have used that last year, and so that you'll be real familiar with that. All right, so the obvious is always check your students' work. We do math on a daily basis, so if they are missing a concept, it's better to catch it on a daily basis than to miss it after a couple of days. Moving on to science. We use a science program called Purposeful Design. It is a Christian curriculum, and in that curriculum we will cover all the material in the book. We won't cover all of it, I should say. So save those unused pages for summer auxiliary days. Homework grades are always important for you to be able to check the pages that they complete, because sometimes I'll have you tear those pages out and send them in for a homework grade, and that helps them stay up to date with what they are learning. Moving on to history. This is our Studies Weekly website. This is my sign-in page, but I wanted to show you that you will have access to an online component. And they have great videos in there for concepts that they are trying to convey to students in second grade. They also have games to play for the student on their end. And there will be a 4-page reader. When I say 4-page reader, it's like 8.5 by 11, no, longer, 11 by 17 that's folded in half. And this is an example of a reader, what it will look like. So it's colorful, it's got graphics on it. We will learn nonfiction text skills, and I use it a lot, so I really like the program, and we'll be learning all about Georgia history. All right, phonics is our next subject. It's also known as Words Their Way. We call it our phonics program because we are still working on letter name and how words are put together within word patterns. We will start with letter name. A few sorts will come from this program. And this is going back to what I was saying earlier. This is a 2nd through 5th grade program. You didn't have this in 1st grade, so this is a little different. But we are working with the phonetic blends, whether it's the letter name or within the word, how the patterns work. Okay, we will complete. It says 3 books this year, but it's not 3 full books. We are taking a few sorts from a previous book, which is letter name, which is that picture right there that you see. And from that book, we will move to Within Word Volume 1 and Within Word Volume 2. And the book that appears coming up next is the book that we'll be in. There is an online component. It's called Savvas, Savvas, Realize. That is the same as Words Their Way. All right, another subject that we have is handwriting. In handwriting, you have the digital tutor with the QR code, which is that little code that's on the page there. And so sometimes in their book, they will have that digital tutor that will come up, and you can scan that with your phone or any type of device that you have that has a QR reader, and it gives them a little tutorial on letter formation or just background information of how we do certain handwriting skills. I will do a weekly check, but you will be given a monthly grade. The weekly checks will be pages that I'll send home in the doc folder, and then I'll have you send in pages to me to be able to, for me to be able to grade. The website has practice pages. They actually have contests, and there's other resources, but this is all independent interest on your part if you wanted to check out their website. And that is the Zahner-Bloser handwriting for manuscript. All right, other subjects that we have is writing. Your student will be doing some writing this year, and the program that we're using is Empowering Writers. In this before I begin about the program, it's a bound copy that I have made for your student. It has a black comb bound student book, and that's the emblem that I put on the front of the book, and it says their student notebook. We will use this book every day, and while we're using it, we're going to practice on narrative writing, expository writing, and persuasive. So this is going to be foundational for them. They'll do a lot of writing at school. Writing sometimes can be very I'll just say it. It can be frustrating sometimes, and I don't want you to be frustrated at home as a parent because we will work on it in school. I will have your child doing a lot of writing for me in school. So just remember, I'm not grading you, and their work is never graded. It's always, I've always given you, I'll give you an assessment just to give them an idea of how they're improving or what they can do to improve, but it's never graded. But I'm always so pleased after many attempts in writing how they have improved. So just remember, this is not a reflection of you, but I do want you to work with your child as much as possible. Just know that I can look at their journal writing assignments at school and compare their home assignments, and they really should be kind of close together in output. But I know that with help at home, things do improve. But I just want to reassure you that the work that they do should be their work. And I'll have some, if you have any questions more about writing, we'll talk about those during our Zoom meeting. All right, next subject that we're going to talk about is English. This is a sample page out of the English book that you're going to be using. It is Bob Jones. It's a foundational grammar skills, and we introduced the skills at school, but I wanted to show you the layout of the program. Down on the bottom, it says underneath the apple tree, well, I should say at the top, it kind of gives you an overview of what you're going to be talking about, and it gives rules to the skill that's being addressed. And then they have a section, it's called guided practice. In that guided practice, you will be working with your student, going over each question and working with your student with their answer. Then the next page, there's going to be an independent practice, which I have a picture coming up next, and it shows you how they are working on that page. So just make sure that you are checking with their work, because on that practice page, which is coming up right there, yep, it says independent practice. This is how you will be able to know, did they understand the concept that was being addressed for that day. So make sure you check their work. I will be sending home extra practice pages, and then we will have some extra practice pages in class to help us to be able to know that they are on target for the skill they're trying to learn. All right, reading. Reading is one of my favorite subjects because second graders really blossom during the school year. And we will start off with, in fact, this book right here, Amelia Bedelia Hits the Trail. And it's a very simplistic book. It's always fun. We will talk about big concepts in the book, idioms and metaphors and things like that she may say, and being able to really think about the words and the play of words that Amelia Bedelia does in school. All right, so our focus this year on reading is that we are going to work on fluency. We're also going to work on comprehension, and that includes text-based questions, inferencing skills, critical thinking, a lot to be thinking about. Books will begin easy and working on skills that progressively get deeper as students grow and mature. And we will finish with chapter books. So we actually will read a nonfiction autobiography of Helen Keller. And it's always a fun book to end on because the students have grown so much, and now they actually are thinking a lot about the characters that they're reading. All right, one more note about reading. So reading is like baseball. And you're like, what? How is reading like baseball? Well, I will say this. Let me explain. In this picture, what do you see? Some of you may say that you see a man standing there with a bat. You see a catcher that's ready to catch the ball. You can say there's a base coach off to the side. But reading is more than just watching this man play baseball. Reading is who's on first, what batter's out on deck, what's the score, what's the batting average of the guy that's hitting, what pitch is the pitcher about to throw, how many balls, how many strikes does he have. So there's a lot of strategy and situational that's going into reading. So basically, reading is a lot of thinking. Okay? Some people think reading is just decoding. And in second grade, I really want to convince you as parents that reading is more than just decoding. So here's this little paragraph, how to bartle puzzballs. And I want you to read that and then I want you to answer your questions. So pause the video, and I want you to read that out loud to yourself, and then I want you to answer the questions. All right, so let's see how you did. How many goo-boos of puzzballs are there? There are torque goo-boos of puzzballs. What are lapiles, mooshoos, and fooshoos? Lapiles, mooshoos, and fooshoos are torque goo-boos of puzzballs. Even if you bartle a puzzball, that tovo, any, and ani on the pern, they will now what? They will not what? They will not grunto any lipiles. How can you give me a puzzball that gruntos lipiles? You should bartle a fooshoe who has rackled her partooshoos after her humpfly flu-flu. Now, even if you answered those questions, you really have no idea what you've just read. So decoding these words is not giving you meaning to what you read. It really sometimes doesn't even make sense. So, this is what we're going to be working on in second grade. Reading is thinking. We are going to be using reading strategies and reading skills to make your child's reading be empowered more than what it is. So if you have a great reader, we're going to make them greater. If you have a reader who struggles, we're going to make that reader become more fluent and a better thinker. So, reading is really important in second grade, and I know that they're going to enjoy their year. Well, I hope that wasn't too painful for you, but we do need to go over, or needed to go over, the curriculum that we will be doing in second grade. But before I let you go, a few tidbits that I'd like to talk to you about. One, let's talk about room temperature. This is a new room for me this year, so I'm not sure how the temperature is going to run, but I will ask with all your clothing items, please put your child's name in their King's Academy Lands End uniforms. That way, if they shed a layer or two, we know who it belongs to. Also, want to talk to you about having your student, not yourself, but having your student write their name and number on their work that comes in. As of right now, from this video, I do not have a class list. So I do not have your child's name and number already rostered. But when you receive your books and get your crate, you will have your child's number that will correlates with their curriculum. So please make sure your child remembers their number and they put their name on their paper. They do not have to put their last name, first name, and number will work just fine. The other note that I want to talk to you about is an important one, is on your orientation packet, look to see what time we will have our Zoom meeting. This is time that is scheduled for us to have question and answers, and it's a mandatory meeting. So please make sure that you are there in the Zoom meeting, and if you have any questions regarding curriculum or how the school works or runs, or any questions that you can think of, please, that'll be a great time for us to have a conversation. And then the last thing I want to tell you, as I mentioned before, I don't have my class list just yet. So anything that was mentioned in the video that tells you to go out to RenWeb to find, give me a few days to have that posted, because class lists are released the same day that you were told what class your classroom teacher was going to be. So that's it for now. I look forward to a great year, and I look forward to seeing your kids come August.
One more thing that I forgot. Did it happen again? Oh man. Don't forget to do your reading contracts and send those in the first week of school.